Lexington is home to me. I love Lexington.
If you walk around town, you go into little shops, they're going to greet you. Hey folks, how you doing? Good to see you.
This town is going to be booming. I think it's going to be one of the most happening small cities in North Carolina.
Lexington's a pretty cool town. We've got a lot of interesting history, and it's really kind of a fun town to live in right now. We've got a lot of things going on, but we're still holding true to some of our older traditions, including the barbecue.
A little history. Lexington got its name from Lexington, Massachusetts, site of the very first battle of the American Revolutionary War. And if you want to know more of Lexington's fascinating history, be sure to stop here at the old Davidson County Courthouse Museum. When I hear the word Lexington, I immediately think barbecue. But if that word doesn't really come to mind for you when you're here, there are over a dozen of these painted fiberglass pigs all around the city to give you a hint. You know, it's actually a really interesting story how Lexington got the title Barbecue Capital of the World.
In 2014, City Hall went through a major renovation, and when the walls started coming down, we discovered this. The city manager immediately called someone from one of our Lexington barbecue restaurants. They came out and he said, "Tell me what we have here." He said, "You have discovered the first indoor pits for a barbecue restaurant, and probably established around 1916, and it was called Beck's Barbecue." These pictures show the process of barbecue in Lexington. This first picture from the early 1900s shows where the farmer comes up, makes a trough, cooks the shoulders, and feeds the crowd when court adjourns for lunch. Then we go into a barbecue stand, much like a stand that you would see at a county fair. And then lastly to the inside barbecue restaurant, and this is where the first inside barbecue pits were.
Those humble barbecue beginnings have literally transformed Lexington. Want proof? Check out the massive crowds at the North Carolina Barbecue Festival, hosted by Lexington and scheduled to resume in 2022.
City Hall actually houses the only complete selection of Lexington Barbecue Festival posters. It brings about 150,000 people to town, so it's pretty significant for us.
If you're looking for someplace to take the kids, Lexington delivers.
Opening last year during the pandemic was pretty good for us because we were able to be open. We were fortunate enough to be open, which brought a lot of people out to come because we were an outside business and people wanted to get out and about. You can start from day one where you've never done it before and get up on the board by the end of the day or within the hour. We offer lessons on our smaller cable, the 2.0 cable that gets you up on the board. If you're more experienced, you can come out here and rip some turns. We're super family friendly. I think that's one of our biggest attributes is that we love when families come out here. We added the aqua park, which has been really great for families and people, literally just people of all ages.
Traveling the state for North Carolina Weekend, I always find myself having to answer the great debate: which region makes the best barbecue? But first, let's find out the difference.
Eastern style is usually whole hog. A little more spicier, peppery, and a little more vinegar taste to it. Piedmont or Lexington style is the shoulder, a little sweeter, ketchup based on their sauce. And we just work up the shoulder and you can have it chopped or sliced or coarse chopped. And they're both great. I love both of them. So we train our cooks about 2 years before we let them cook by themselves. So, and if you notice, we have no thermostat or anything in the pits. We go by feel.
And they're feeling it at Lexington Barbecue, which started back in 1962 out on Business I-85 and used to be called Honey Monks. Today, almost 60 years later, Honey Monks or Monks or Lexington Barbecue still serves a lot of Q.
We normally use about probably 500 to 600 shoulders a week, or we were somewhere in the neighborhood, we'll cook about 6,500, 7,500 pounds in a week. We make 250 gallons of tea a day, 40 gallons of hush puppy mix a day. So we use a big volume when it comes to it. So it's kind of that word of mouth, like, hey, this is pretty good. Let's go try it.
The next day, while visiting downtown Lexington, I followed the smoke to another great eatery, the Barbecue Center.
We started in 1955 as kind of the outlet for our local dairy serving ice cream. And then it just kind of progressed into serving barbecue out of the back. And then we moved 2 blocks down the street, built indoor pits, and well, became the barbecue center. And I guess kind of the rest is history. My mom's still here, my brother's still here. So we're still doing this as a family operation.
But the center is also beloved for its ice cream and especially its world-famous banana split.
The banana split goes back to our ice cream days, and it's grown itself over the years. So the last time I believe we weighed it on camera, it weighed between 3.5 and 4 pounds. Usually every month we do at least 1,000.
I don't know if you guys have been to Red's Donut Shop. Some of the best donuts you're ever going to eat are right down here in Lexington.
There really wasn't a donut scene other than Krispy Kreme out here. You know, I think that what I thought was the South ate biscuits and the West, they ate donuts, and up North ate donuts, which pretty much was true. Is if you go around here, there's a big competition with biscuits. I trained in Arkansas, I trained in Texas, I trained in Iowa, then I trained in California. Then I came here, you know, being from the South, I just tried to put everything together and we came up with our own little bit of recipe that made it better. We signed the lease for the building and me and my brother said, all right, this is real. What's the name for the building? Like, we don't know. So he was talking to our landlord and he gave us a backstory about the building. He was telling us it used to be called the Red Pig. And back during the Prohibition days, that was the first barbecue restaurant that served alcohol. We thought that was a pretty cool name and we looked at each other, red was our favorite color. So we said, Red Donut Shop, that's our donut name. The first day, we chased like 50 people away. And I was like, wow, that's a lot of money. I said, let me go ahead and change the hours. And when I changed the hours, the regular owners, like people that in the donut world, they was like, those aren't donut hours. I was like, I know they ain't. I said, over here in Lexington, over here in the South, I said, people eat donuts all day.
I may have been in the barbecue capital of the world, but I found a young chef bringing her own special flavors to Lexington at Lulu Seafood. Oh my goodness, Naila, this looks incredible. So how would you overall describe the cuisine here at Lulu's?
We're definitely a Low Country boil seafood restaurant. We've got all the different types of Low Country seafood, shrimp, crab legs, lobster, mussels, even have salmon, so yeah.
And this is smelling super delicious. Tell me about some of the seasonings in this.
Currently on there is our Curry's Original. So my married name is Curry. So we decided to make a sauce that I guess kind of represents us. So it's a little spicy and it's got a lot of flavor and it's just really, really good overall, yeah. Well, I think so.
Naila, what brought you to Lexington?
I went to North Carolina A&T, graduate chemistry degree, and ended up moving to Myrtle Beach to get my culinary degree. And while I was here in North Carolina in school, I met my husband, and his whole family is pretty much here. So I just decided, you know, since our family is here, we need to build our legacy and build something great for our hometown, our new home, you know. Yeah.
Absolutely, because Lexington is known for barbecue.
Right,
so
right.
You wanted to bring something special, right?
Yeah, you know, I mean, everyone else goes out of town, you know, to have seafood and really good seafood, you know, so I wanted everyone to, you know, come on to Lexington. We've got good things too. We've got stuff besides barbecue, so you can definitely get some good food here.
The food scene here in Lexington is really taking off, but that's just part of the pleasures of a weekend in Lexington. Let's indulge in a little fine wine at Childress Vineyards.
Well, you know, Lexington's where Napa was in the 60s. From a wine point of view, the goal was when they pulled into the property at Childress, what we initially said is they probably don't expect a lot. Because they, you know, oh, come on, North Carolina, wine, Childress is a NASCAR guy. So they pull off the highway and then they come through the gates and they say, well, that's pretty nice so far. And then they drive through part of the vineyard and then they see it and go, wow. And now when you drive up the driveway, you just see the beauty of this. And you could be in Tuscany or you could be in Napa, but you're in Lexington.
NASCAR legend Richard Childress was the visionary who saw the potential for high-quality wines in the region.
His one question to me was, can we make world-class wines in North Carolina?
A visit to the tasting room at Childress Vineyards definitely answers that question. Your tasting guide will provide flights of Childress wine that will satisfy any wine lover's palate. And the gift shop is a great place to stock up until your next visit. Hungry? Then be sure to visit the Bistro for lunch, where the food is as divine as the surroundings. Not all wineries are as grand as Childress. For a more intimate experience, visit one of the small family farm wineries around Lexington, like the award-winning Junius Lindsay Winery.
The land's been in the family since Junius Lindsay Zimmerman. My grandfather bought it in 1896. So I'm third generation, grew up here, spent a lot of that time in France and fell in love with the Rhone Valley in southern France and Rhone wines. And that's the bulk of what we grow here. And everything that we do is native to the Rhone Valley. The San Francisco Chronicle competition is the largest wine competition of American wines in the world. So we collect several golds and a lot of other stuff. And it's just we don't enter a lot of things. We enter what we think is the best.
If your tastes run toward innovative craft beers and ciders, you've got to stop by the new Depot District in Lexington. This was once the massive Lexington Furniture Factory, and today it's home to Bull City Ciders and Goose and the Monkey Brew House.
We've probably made 60, 75 ciders. Now, we don't have 65, 75 ciders available at all times, but we always have 12 to 14 ciders that we make ourselves. And by doing that, we can offer things that have a little spice to it. We can offer things that have hops in it, different fruits. So I always believe if somebody comes in, even if their perspective is, or their perception previously is, look, I don't like cider. If they try a flight, they kind of dig in, they try some of these things. Well, what kind of fruits you like? What kind of flavors you like? You like something a little drier? You like a little sweeter? We have things that run that full spectrum. We actually stop our fermentation early, and when we do that, we just leave natural residual sugar from the apple. So that's a very different and unique perspective about our process versus many others.
We're sitting at Goose and the Monkey Brew House. It used to be part of Lexington Home Brands until Lexington Home Brands moved out in 2002. The city bought these buildings in 2007 and they sat empty for 10, 12 years. We started leasing this building in February of 2017.
The name came because my cousin and I used to wait on the school bus together when we were little, and we would play games and sing songs. And there was a song called the Clapping Song that we sang together, and it says 369, the goose drank wine, the monkey chewed tobacco on the streetcar line. And so, Goose and the Monkey. We loved going to other cities and going to breweries and going to places like this, and we thought Lexington needs something like this. So we thought, let's start a brewery. The Fire Door Red is a tribute to the fire doors that saved our building during the fire that happened here. And there were several businesses down here, and so they were doing everything they could do to stop the fire. And the fire chief came down in the building and they closed the fire doors, and it stopped the fire from progressing and destroying this building. So our first beer was Fire Door Red.
The best way to plan your trip to Lexington is a visit to their visitor center at 2 North Main Street in downtown Lexington. They're open Monday through Friday from 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. For more information, give them a call at 336-236-4218 or go online to visit lexingtonnc.com.